Ambassador Lyra Thane stood before the Galactic Council, her silver diplomatic robes catching the light of 1,000 distant stars visible through the crystalline dome. For 3 decades, she had dedicated her life to this singular purpose, forging peace between the warring factions of the Outer Rim. The Council Chamber, a marvel of architectural unity representing 47 species, had become her second home. The Kryn Collective and the Velor Syndicate have agreed to preliminary talks, she announced, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. If we can broker this accord, it will end 4 centuries of bloodshed. The assembled delegates murmured their approval, but Lyra noticed the skeptical glances exchanged between the Elder Council members. They had heard such promises before. She had heard them herself, countless times before negotiations collapsed into renewed violence. What none of them knew was that her brother was coming. Marcus Thane had not set foot in civilized space for 15 years. While Lyra built bridges with words and treaties, Marcus had walked a darker path among the lawless colonies and forgotten worlds. The military had declared him dead after his ship disappeared during a Black Ops mission in the Void Nebula. Lyra knew better. She had received his coded messages, brief and cryptic, speaking of discovery and transformation. Now, as war threatened to engulf the entire sector despite her efforts, Marcus had sent one final message. I'm coming home. I'll finish what you started. The Kryn and Velor fleets assembled at the neutral station designated for peace talks, but neither came to negotiate. They came with battleships, dreadnoughts, and weapons capable of cracking planets. Lyra watched from the observation deck as the 2 armadas faced each other across the void, and her heart sank. Another failure, another 1,000 worlds doomed to burn. Then the sensors screamed. A ship emerged from hyperspace between the 2 fleets. Not a fleet, a single ship unlike anything in the galactic databases. It was impossibly large, its hull a seamless obsidian that seemed to absorb light itself. No visible weapons, no standard configuration, nothing that made sense to conventional military doctrine. Identify yourself, the Kryn Admiral demanded, his multi-vocal harmonics crackling with aggression. The response came on all frequencies in all languages simultaneously. I am Marcus Thane, I speak for humanity. Stand down, Lyra's breath caught. That voice, older, harder, but unmistakably her brother's. The Velor commander laughed, a sound like grinding metal. 1 human, 1 ship? You waste our time. Move aside or be destroyed. What happened next would be studied by military academies for generations. The ship didn't fire weapons. It didn't need to. Space itself seemed to bend around Marcus's vessel. The Kryn flagship, a leviathan that had destroyed entire battle groups, simply stopped. Its engines went dark, its weapons offline, its shields collapsed. Within seconds, every ship in both fleets hung dead in space, powerless. I said stand down, Marcus repeated. I will not ask again. Panic erupted across all channels. Engineers reported impossible readings. Every system had failed simultaneously, yet life support remained intact. It was surgical, precise, and absolute. Thousands of warships rendered helpless by a single vessel. Lyra initiated emergency protocols and demanded transport to Marcus's ship. When she materialized in his command center, she barely recognized the man who turned to face her. Marcus had aged, his face lined with experiences she couldn't fathom, but his eyes held something new. A weight that came from wielding godlike power. Behind him, holographic displays showed technology that shouldn't exist, mathematics that broke known physics, energy signatures that defied classification. What have you become? She whispered. What was necessary, he replied. The Void Nebula wasn't empty, Lyra. There was a station there built by the Forerunners. They left behind knowledge, technology, and a test. I passed. This ship is bonded to me now, integrated with my neural patterns. It gives me control over fundamental forces. This isn't peace, Marcus. This is tyranny. He smiled sadly. No, sister. This is the foundation of peace. Watch. He touched a control surface, and suddenly every commander in both fleets could see and hear him. I have disabled your weapons. I can disable them again anywhere in the galaxy at any time. I can shut down a single fighter or an entire armada. I can do this because I carry technology beyond your comprehension. The implications crashed through the military minds listening. No defense, no countermeasure, no possibility of victory. But I won't use this power to conquer, Marcus continued. I'll use it to enforce one simple rule: no more wars. Fight your battles with words, with trade, with diplomacy. Ambassador Thane has spent her life building the framework for real peace. Now I'm ensuring no one can destroy it. Lyra stepped beside her brother, torn between horror and hope. You're making yourself the guardian of the entire galaxy. I'm making myself the deterrent, he corrected. Humanity tried peace through strength, through alliances, through deterrence. They all failed because someone always believed they could win. Now no one can win. There's only cooperation or mutual shutdown. The Kryn and Velor commanders remained silent, processing this new reality. Their ancient hatred hadn't vanished, but the mathematics had changed. War was now impossible. Over the following weeks, Lyra watched her carefully constructed diplomatic framework suddenly bear fruit. Treaties she had negotiated for years were signed within days. Disputes that seemed intractable found resolution, not because species had suddenly become enlightened, but because the alternative was having Marcus Thane turn off their fleets. She should have felt triumphant. Instead, she felt the weight of an uncomfortable truth. Her brother had accomplished in moments what she couldn't achieve in decades. Not through better diplomacy, but through unchallengeable power. Is this really peace? She asked him during a quiet moment on his ship, staring out at the now calm sector. It's the beginning, Marcus said. You built the structure, Lyra. The institutions, the relationships, the trust. I'm just ensuring no one tears it down while it takes root. In a generation, maybe two, they won't need me anymore. They'll choose peace because it's become their culture, not because I force it. And if they don't, then I remain, one human ensuring billions can live without fear. He placed a hand on her shoulder. You wanted peace between worlds. I brought the power to make it possible. Together, we might actually succeed. Lyra looked at her reflection in the crystalline viewport, seeing both the idealistic diplomat she'd been and the pragmatic realist she'd become. Peace through overwhelming power wasn't the dream she'd pursued. But as she watched ships from former enemies dock together to begin joint ventures, she realized it might be the only dream that worked. Humanity had contributed many things to the galaxy: art, philosophy, resilience. Now, through one man transformed by ancient technology, they had given something else, the enforced opportunity to be better. Whether that made Marcus Thane a guardian or a tyrant would be decided by history. For now, the guns were silent, and her brother stood watch over a galaxy learning to live without war.